AI and leadership. This is what we're going to be talking about today on How to Lead, the podcast for CEOs, founders and leaders who want the perfect balance of empathy and authority. I'm Kate Waterfall-Hill, and I'll be sharing some ideas from over 30 years of working in business and leadership development, as well as some more current thinking and research. Before we start the show, I wanted to remind you that my new programme, the Leadership Accelerator Premium, is now available. It's all the best bits of a course, engaging videos in the shape of my How to Lead Digital Academy, plus the best bits of a networking group. New contacts, a support system and a sense that you're not alone, plus weekly coaching calls where you get my personal attention on your challenges and interactive workshops on a different topic each week for 24 weeks. Plus you get Institute of Leadership membership and certification, plus DISC personality profiling, so you can really understand yourself better and be a better leader. Places are limited, so make sure you book your place or places for your managers and leaders who want to elevate their skills and learn within a safe, friendly community. Find out more at waterfallhill.co.uk. So let's kick off this episode with taking a look at how Linda the Bad Manager, my alter ego, is coping with the rise of new technology. What do I do when it comes to personal development? Oh, I know I don't want to be stretched outside my comfort zone. No, I like to stay where I am, know exactly what I'm doing. No one can challenge me then, you see, because I'm the subject matter expert. I'll stay in charge of this area of expertise forever and ever. What if it goes out of usage? What, some new tech comes in? AI? No, I've got control of the budget, you see, so I can just pull the plug on that and it'll never happen. And I'll stay Queen Bee. Yeah, lovely. It's got to be said, AI presents one of the most profound leadership challenges of our time. And yet, I find it fascinating how much of the conversation remains trapped in this binary of either fearing AI as an existential threat of some sort or embracing it as a magical solution to all our problems. The reality I've observed working with leaders across dozens of organisations is far more nuanced. AI isn't fundamentally about technology at all. It's about reimagining how we work, how we make decisions, and how we develop our people in an era where intelligent machines are increasingly part of our organisational fabric. When approaching AI as a leader, I really recommend focusing on these three critical dimensions. 1. Strategic integration. Have a look at determining where AI truly adds value versus where human judgment, creativity and relationships remain essential. 2. Workforce transformation. Have a look at managing the human dimension of change, building new capabilities and maintaining purpose as roles evolve. And number 3, ethical implementation. We really need to ensure that AI serves human flourishing while mitigating risks and unintended consequences. So I'm going to now explore each of these dimensions in a bit more detail. In conversations with many leadership teams, I've observed a recurring pattern when organisations begin grappling with their AI strategy. Often technology leaders push for aggressive implementation, while HR leaders raise concerns about workforce impact. And then there's data security teams coming out in hives. This tension is natural and actually valuable. What becomes clear in working through these conversations isn't that either perspective is wrong, it's that both are incomplete. Effective AI leadership really requires a more integrated approach that takes those three dimensions I've already talked about: strategic integration, workforce transformation and ethical implementation. So I'm going to just talk through in more detail what it looks like in practice. So when we talk about strategic integration, we're really asking fundamental questions about value creation. Where does AI truly enhance your organisation's capabilities, and where do human judgment, creativity and relationships remain essential? When thinking about healthcare, for instance, consider how patient communications might actually be enhanced by AI. The efficiency gains could be significant, but we have to ask deeper questions about value. The human connection in certain critical interactions is central to quality care. A more nuanced approach might be use AI to enhance administrative communications while persevering and even deepening human connection in clinically and emotionally significant moments. This isn't about rejecting technology, it's about deploying it with strategic clarity. This kind of intentional strategy requires genuine AI literacy among leadership teams. Not technical expertise, mind you, but a working understanding of capabilities, limitations, and implications. Leaders who successfully navigate AI transformation often dedicate regular time to hands-on experience with new AI tools, not to become technical experts, but to develop the intuition needed for good strategic decisions. And this kind of direct engagement helps cut through the hype and builds practical understanding of both possibilities and limitations. The second dimension I talked about, workforce transformation, is where I see many organisations struggle. There's often a tendency to either downplay potential disruption or create unnecessary panic, and frankly, neither serves your people well. The more effective approach I've observed is when leadership teams openly acknowledge that AI will significantly change many roles, but pair this honesty with a compelling vision of how the organisation will invest in people's development and create new opportunities. They don't pretend to have all the answers right now, but they commit to navigating the transition together with transparency and support. This approach builds trust in a way that sugarcoating never can. It also recognises that workforce transformation isn't just about reskilling, although that's certainly important. It's about helping people develop the uniquely human capabilities that will become even more valuable in an AI-enhanced world. And by that I mean emotional intelligence, ethical reasoning, creative problem solving, and collaborative innovation. Organisations that invest in developing uniquely human capabilities alongside technical skills not only ease the transition, but often discover unexpected sources of competitive advantage. When teams dedicate as much time to developing their collaborative skills as learning new AI tools, the results can be transformative. The potential isn't just better analysis, it's breakthrough insights that neither humans nor AI could generate alone. The third dimension, ethical implementation, is perhaps the most challenging because it forces us to confront values questions that many organisations haven't explicitly considered before. What kind of society do we want to build? Who benefits from our AI implementations and who might be harmed? What values do we want encoded in our systems? Consider what happens when a customer service AI inadvertently provides better service to certain demographic groups simply because of patterns in historical data. This isn't malicious, it's not intended, it's just a consequence that becomes visible through ongoing ethical review. Organisations that commit to this kind of vigilance and address issues openly often find that transparency actually strengthens stakeholder trust rather than undermining it. Ethical AI leadership isn't about having perfect answers. It's about asking thoughtful questions, involving diverse perspectives, creating accountability structures, and being willing to adjust course as you learn. It's also about balancing innovation with responsibility in a way that reflects your organisational values. Now, through my work with various organisations, I've observed some common pitfalls that even well-intentioned leaders fall into. The first is what you might call technology-first thinking, so starting with the AI solutions and then searching for problems they might solve. This approach almost always leads to wasted resources and missed opportunities. Too often, organisations invest heavily in AI implementations because their competitors are doing it, only to realise that they haven't quite clearly defined what problems they're trying to solve or how success should be measured. The recalibration to a more strategic approach inevitably follows, but often after significant financial and organisational cost. The more effective approach begins with clearly defined strategic objectives and specific challenges that, if addressed, could create meaningful value. Then you can explore how AI might help, always considering broader questions of organisational readiness, cultural implications, and of course capability building. Another common pitfall is inadequate change management. AI implementations often fail, not because of technical shortcomings, but because organisations underestimate the human dimensions of change. If you're interested to learn more about change management, there's another episode of the How to Lead podcast earlier on in the series. AI can fundamentally alter how people experience their work, their sense of autonomy, mastery, and purpose. And unless these psychological aspects are thoughtfully addressed, resistance is inevitable. Effective change management for AI requires cross-functional implementation teams that include not just technical experts, but also frontline staff and end-user advocates. The focus needs to be as much on the narrative of change, the why behind the what, as on the technical aspects. And early wins should be celebrated in ways that reinforce how AI enhances rather than diminishes human contributions. Perhaps the most troubling pitfall I've observed is treating ethics as an afterthought. When ethical considerations are bolted on after key decisions have been made, they become limitations rather than guiding principles. The result is often technically impressive systems that undermine trust or create unintended harms. Organisations that integrate ethical considerations from the beginning not only avoid potential pitfalls, but often discover more innovative approaches. When diverse stakeholders, including those typically excluded from technical decisions, participate in the earliest design stages, the results can be surprising. Systems can be developed that not only avoid common biases, but actually expand inclusion in ways not initially envisioned. Another pitfall worth mentioning is neglecting human development. Some organisations become so focused on implementing AI that they underinvest in the human capabilities that become even more valuable in an AI-enhanced environment. And this creates a dangerous gap between technological capability and human readiness. When organisations automate routine tasks like quality control, the remaining human team often needs to develop more sophisticated analytical and problem-solving skills. By investing in human development alongside AI implementation, quality outcomes can improve beyond what either approach alone might achieve. And this complementary development is essential but often overlooked. The final pitfall I often see is failing to reimagine work. AI isn't simply a tool that slots into existing processes. It often requires fundamentally rethinking how work gets done, how decisions are made, and how performance is measured. Consider document review in legal services, for instance. Simply using AI to speed up existing processes often yields disappointing results. The breakthrough comes when organisations step back and reimagine the entire workflow, changing how teams are structured, how they collaborate with AI, and how success is measured. This fundamental rethinking can lead to transformative gains in both efficiency and quality. So how do you measure whether your approach to AI leadership is effective? I'd suggest looking beyond the obvious technical metrics to consider a more holistic set of indicators. Here are 5 key metrics to track. 1. Strategic alignment. Are your AI initiatives directly advancing your most important organisational priorities? 2. Employee engagement. How are your people responding to AI-driven changes in their work? Are they feeling empowered or threatened? 3. Capability development. Are both technical and uniquely human skills improving across your organisation? 4. Ethical implementation. Do you have an ongoing way of monitoring for bias, fairness, and unintended consequences? 5. Balanced performance. Are you tracking both efficiency and effectiveness, short-term gains and long-term value? For instance, don't just measure how many processes you've automated, measure whether those automations are advancing your strategic priorities. Don't just track efficiency gains, track whether your people are developing the capabilities needed for future success. And don't just monitor technical performance, monitor for unintended consequences and impacts across diverse stakeholder groups. As we think about the principles that guide effective AI leadership, I've observed 5 that consistently make a difference across organisations. The first is leading with purpose rather than technology. Organisations that connect AI to their mission and values, focus on human flourishing, and maintain clear ethical boundaries consistently make better decisions than those fixated solely on technological capability. The second principle is building collective intelligence, thoughtfully combining human and machine strengths, fostering collaboration across disciplines, and creating psychological safety for experimentation and learning. Organisations that view AI as a partner in collective intelligence rather than a replacement for human thinking discover possibilities that neither alone could achieve. The third principle is developing adaptive capacity, investing in continuous learning, building comfort with ambiguity, and creating flexible organisation structures that can evolve as AI capabilities and implementations continue to unfold. The organisations that thrive with AI aren't necessarily those with the most advanced technology, but those with the greatest capacity to learn and adapt. The fourth principle is prioritising ethical stewardship, considering multiple stakeholder impacts, building diverse implementation teams, creating accountability mechanisms, and regularly reassessing ethical frameworks as contexts change. Organisations that embrace this stewardship role build deeper trust with all stakeholders while mitigating potential harms. And the final principle is maintaining human connection throughout the transformation, preserving meaningful human interactions, celebrating uniquely human contributions, and balancing efficiency with empathy. Organisations that maintain this human-centred approach find that AI actually enhances rather than diminishes their humanity. In the end, AI leadership isn't fundamentally about managing technology, it's about navigating a profound transition in how we work, collaborate, and create value. It requires a delicate balance of innovation and responsibility, efficiency and humanity, present needs and future possibilities. The approach you take as a leader will determine whether AI becomes a force for human flourishing within your organisation or a source of disruption and inequality. It's not about choosing between fear and opportunity, but about embracing the complexity of this moment with wisdom, foresight, and a commitment to shared prosperity. The leaders who will thrive in this AI-enhanced future aren't necessarily those with the most technical knowledge, but those who can ask the right questions, navigate ambiguity, build trust through transitions, and keep human flourishing at the centre of their decisions. That's all for today's episode of How to Lead. Until next time, keep leading with clarity, care, and curiosity. If you've enjoyed this episode, do follow for more leadership insights. And remember, if you'd like my personal support, do take a look at my website, waterfallhill.co.uk, for more information about my one-to-one and new accredited Leadership Accelerator Premium programme. There's never a better time to take your professional development seriously than right now. I'd be delighted if you could leave a review and share with your fellow leaders to help spread the word about the How to Lead podcast. The best leaders are clear on their vision, care about their people, and approach interactions with curiosity, not judgment. Until next time, thanks for listening.